Hello, folks, back once more. Just a quick news flash for you for those of you that haven't heard yet. The Bank of England Monetary Policy Committee did meet today, and they have, as anticipated, raised interest rates by 0.5 or half of 1%. Now, if you're a regular viewer, you'll know that we've been saying for some time that this is what was going to happen this week. So the news is bad, but it's to be expected. And long-term fixed rates may not be as impacted by this as you think, because it was widely anticipated, and therefore the swap rates may have already taken this into account. It does mean, looking at the rates at the moment, funnily enough, fixed rates have become a little bit more competitive. Now, of course, this is not mortgage advice because that's not what we're here to do, but just a quick drop in to say, yes, mortgage rates have risen, or interest rates have risen by 0.5 of 1%. That doesn't mean that your fixed rate will change. If you're on a fixed rate, your mortgage will stay the same until the end of that period. It does mean if you're on a tracker rate or a variable rate mortgage for your property, then obviously the rate will increase by at least that amount. If you're on a fixed rate, then you're okay. As far as fixing the rate in the future is concerned, we've said for some time that our gut feeling is the era of ultra cheap money is gone. So if you're waiting for interest rates to go back down to that 1% range, then I'm afraid I think you're in for a very long wait. And I think that things have changed in that regard. But we have seen the longer term fixed rates come down, and we've seen the 5-year fixed rates and the 2-year fixed rates become much more competitive just over the last few weeks. Now, the people fixing those rates were looking at the swap rates, and they knew very well that this interest rate increase was coming. So I don't think it's the end of the world as far as the market's concerned. Obviously, it's tough times. What does it mean for landlords? Well, it means your costs have gone up yet again if you're on a variable rate, or if you're coming to the end of your fixed rate, probably. Certainly if you're on a tracker or a variable. And this may be bad news in turn for tenants, as landlords that have resisted rent increases now feel that they have no choice but to increase rent. So this doesn't just impact homeowners, it impacts everybody. So, it's a very serious thing. And we just thought we'd let you know it's happened. We've been anticipating it for some time, although it's not the end of the world. Tough times ahead, no doubt. We're hoping this is the last of the interest rate rises in this round. We might be in for another one. Some economists predict that they'll peak at about 4.5%. Some suggest that they'll peak lower. I think we might be at the end of this cycle now. Of course, there are external factors as well, such as Ukraine and the price of oil, gas, that also have an effect on inflation. And bearing in mind they're trying to control inflation, that's the whole point of these interest rate rises. Who knows? Nobody knows for sure. But I think we're certainly at or very near the top of the cycle. And that means we can start looking at, hopefully, more of a downhill way from there. But who knows? As far as the market's concerned, still busy. People are still looking. And, it's not falling off a cliff like some would expect. And I don't anticipate it well, because most people are staying put and just choosing not to move because they're just worried about where they are now. Some older families we're finding are struggling with bills and deciding to sell their larger houses to move to smaller properties. And that's understandable as well. This will help because where we're seeing the most supply is in landlords finding that their buy-to-lets are no longer viable or are so marginal that they've decided now is the time to sell. So the supply of flats is on the increase, and some of those flats will hopefully be taken up by the homeowners selling up to look to smaller homes to decrease their bills. And that may have a welcome impact of freeing up a few more family homes, which we're in desperate need of. But certainly as far as the market's concerned, there's still not a massive supply of property. And because we have such high unemployment rates or low unemployment rates, it means that we're unlikely to get a huge tranche of repossessions, which is where property prices can cascade downwards from when you have lots of repossessed properties that must be sold and must be sold now. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the year. Obviously, we'll keep reporting to you live, but just to let you know, bad news is interest rates have gone up. If you watch regularly, you'll know we anticipated this. We knew it was going to happen. And many of the fixed rates that you view now may not change because they've already taken account of this likely rise. So thanks for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow with Ken at 10. Until then, ciao.